What's up everyone? Today we have a really beautiful kit that I want to share a little bit about with you. Now this is the first production model of the Yamaha drums. Now I just have a little bit of background. So these were made at the Yamaha Nitsu factory in Hamamatsu, Japan. Okay, this was made in around 1967 and it was the original Yamaha production facility. Later they were at the Miyataki factory. And the thing about these drums is they use what's called an air seal system. And so this was like really early on in the days of drum manufacturing. These drums are made of maple and Luan mahogany. A lot of the older school drums have a little bit of mahogany in them, which kind of gives them that really kind of nice, warm tone. And I picked this kit up, I found it off of Craigslist for a pretty good deal. These kits, you can still find them for great deals. Now I will say, I've seen the prices slowly climb as more and more people are getting interested in vintage drums, especially Yamaha's vintage offerings. So when we think about vintage kits, we think about Gretsch, right? We think about round badges, we think about Ludwigs, we think about the Black Olive Swirl and all the cool finishes that Ludwig came out with. And we don't really think about Yamaha and vintage drums. We think about Yamaha maybe in the context of 80s, right? When maybe some of the recording customs when they became really popular. Or the Maple Custom Absolutes in the 90s and things like that. But Yamaha's been a really great player, really steady for the past, however many years, since 1967. And so I'm really stoked to pick these drums up. And we got over here, we have an 8 by 12 inch tom. And down here, I believe it's a 12 by 14 inch floor tom. And then we have a 16 by 20 inch bass drum. And as you can see, like whenever you get a vintage kit, you really want to make sure that the chrome has limited pitting. Get a close up here on this chrome, right? And when I feel that I'm not feeling anything rough, it just feels like this kit has been stored in an environment where there's very little moisture, so none of the chrome is pitted.
Just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.
It's all original and it sounds absolutely gorgeous. I believe it has the original front head on it as well, does it?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's original front head on it, which has got that classic Yamaha old school look. It did not come with the snare drum. So this color is called Golden Dragon. Rowan, just get a close up on this color. And I don't know about you, but it sounds like a Japanese style name because it reminds me of anime. Maybe there'd be an anime character named Golden Dragon. And it also has internal muffling. Drum companies these days, they've kind of stopped with the whole internal muffling. So all you do here is you crank it up and it's gonna put pressure on that head. And so let's actually, I'll show you how it sounds. Okay, so I put on the internal muffling. Really, a real nice short sound. I'll do this one as well. So this one without internal muffling. Really open. Crank it up. So that is the Yamaha D30 from 1967, Yamaha's first entry into building acoustic drums. I guess acoustic drums, obviously. There weren't any electronics back then. But if you have a chance to pick up one of these kits, I highly recommend it. Make sure you check that it's in good condition or that you can restore it because they are a wrap finish. And if the wrap is kind of cracked or the seam, you'll notice there's sometimes the seams on wrap finished drums start to peel up, and that's something you want to avoid, or you want to be able to actually refinish it. Another thing is I'm actually 6'3", I'm taller, so these floor tom legs don't raise up high enough for me. So I'd have to replace the floor tom legs if I were to take this out on the gig or things like that. But overall, it's a really solid kit. and you know, it shows how Yamaha's production philosophies, their manufacturing philosophies, how time-tested they are. I'm just such a huge fan of Yamaha drums, so no matter what era of drums Yamaha makes, I highly recommend them, and I think you're going to absolutely love them. So thank you so much for watching this little review and demo of the Yamaha D30 vintage drum set in Golden Dragon finish. I'll see you in the next one.